All right, so new console, right? It drops, and you're like, do I need it?
Yeah, like, is it worth it?
Is this going to be the thing that changes my life? You know, like, I don't know about you, but every time a new console comes out, I'm just like, ugh, do I really need another glowing rectangle?
Right.
This time, it's the PS5 Digital Edition, the slim one.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a deep dive into it.
Right.
We're going to look at the Amazon page, the reviews, and all that good stuff, and try to decide if it's worth the hype.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is this whole discless thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
the trend.
Like, gaming is like Marie Kondoing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, super minimalist, digital minimalism.
Yeah.
But, like, does it spark joy? That's the question.
Right. That's the question.
Yeah.
So, first impressions, I mean, just looking at it,
Yeah.
it's a looker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They slimmed it down, looks great.
Uh-huh.
It came out November 2023.
Yeah.
And that sleek design.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I want to...
It's nice.
But, you know, good looks will only get you so far, right?
Right.
So what's the damage, price-wise?
$449.
Okay.
Not bad.
Not terrible.
Especially considering all the tech that you're getting.
Uh-huh.
And don't forget, you know, Sony, they love to do a discount,
Oh, yeah.
especially around the holidays.
Yeah, Black Friday, all that.
Exactly.
You could probably get a good deal on this thing.
Yeah, maybe even enough to get an extra controller or 10.
Or 10, yeah. For when your friends rage quit.
Oh, yeah. Always a good idea.
Always a solid investment.
Yep.
All right, but here's the real, like, game changer. You know, it doesn't have a disk drive.
Yeah.
It's digital only.
Digital only, all the...
What are your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, on the one hand, like, think about how convenient that is.
Yeah.
You know, instant downloads, no more, like, disc swapping symphony going on.
Right.
Potentially, you could get cheaper games, you
Yeah.
know,
Wow.
smaller console. So if you have, like, a smaller gaming setup,
Yeah.
you know, it's perfect for that.
Okay.
But
yeah,
there's a but.
Big but.
Big but. You are completely tied to the digital world, which means no borrowing games from your buddies.
Oh, right.
No going to like the used game store, finding those like hidden gems.
Right.
And just imagine like your internet is down.
No.
And you're downloading a massive game and you're like halfway through.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, the dread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we like completely spiral into that nightmare,
Right.
let's talk about some of the things that people are saying about the PS5.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, the speed.
Yeah.
People are raving about how fast this thing is.
Yeah, I mean, the load times are insane.
Yeah.
Like, you blink and the game is loaded. It's crazy.
They have that new CPU, GPU, and the SSD with the integrated I/O.
Yeah, the integrated I/O, that's the real secret sauce.
What does that mean?
So basically, it gets rid of those data transfer bottlenecks.
Okay.
Which means that the load times are practically non-existent. It's like having a superhighway inside your console.
Okay, so say goodbye to loading screens.
Bye.
See you later. I don't need you.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk visuals. You know, the graphics.
Yeah.
People are like losing their minds over the graphics on this thing.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen reviews where people are saying, it's stunning, jaw-dropping,
Yeah.
you know, makes my old console look like it's from the Stone Age. Like,
Yeah.
really dramatic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 4K resolution.
Yeah. 4K ray tracing, you know, for that, like, super realism,
Right.
super smooth frame rates.
Yeah. And you can play like a bunch of PS4 games on it.
Yeah, which is a huge plus for people who are upgrading.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say, though,
Yeah.
you know, that 4K, the ray tracing and all that, it really depends on the game. And also your display.
Oh, right?
Like, it's not like every game suddenly looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But the potential is there.
Right.
If the game supports it and you have the right setup, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
But you know what everyone's really talking about?
What's that?
The DualSense controller.
Oh, yeah.
Breathtaking immersion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are saying.
And it's not just marketing fluff either.
Right.
Like that haptic feedback, those adaptive triggers, they really add a whole new dimension to gaming.
Yeah, it's like you're not just seeing and hearing the game, you're feeling it too.
Exactly.
Like you're holding the bow and arrow.
Yeah, like if you're pulling back on a bowstring in a game, you feel that tension in the trigger.
Yeah, it's wild.
Or if you're like driving over a bumpy road, you feel every bump.
Yeah.
It's really next level.
One of the reviewers, and we'll get into the reviews a little bit later,
Yeah.
but one of the reviewers said it felt like they were actually holding the bow.
Wow.
That's how real it felt.
That's impressive.
And the 3D audio,
Oh, yeah.
that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's like having surround sound pumped directly into your brain.
It's wild. Like, how does that even work?
Basically, it tricks your brain into perceiving sound in 3D space.
Okay.
So it's like you gain this extra sense.
It's wild.
You know, it just adds this crazy layer of realism.
If you want to learn more about all this stuff, make sure to check out the link down below.
Exactly.
All right, so no product is perfect.
Right.
There's got to be some downsides.
Well, of course. There's always a...
So let's talk about some of the downsides. What are people saying?
Well, not surprisingly, one of the biggest concerns is the lack of a disk drive.
Yeah.
That's a deal breaker for some people. They like their physical games, they like to share games with friends. Maybe they still watch Blu-rays, I don't know. But for those people, the digital edition just might not be the right fit.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, right?
Exactly.
You get this sleek design, digital convenience, but you lose that ability to use physical media.
Right, you're locked into the digital ecosystem.
Yeah, and as some reviewers pointed out, if your internet goes down, you're done.
Game over, literally.
Unless you have like a huge backlog of single-player games.
Right, you gotta have something to fall back on.
Exactly, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
We're so dependent on the internet for everything these days.
It's true.
Like entertainment, communication, work, everything.
It's a double-edged sword, that's
Another
for
great
sure.
thing is the
Okay,
internal
but I did see a
storage.
silver lining in some of the reviews.
Oh, tell me more.
People are saying really positive things about buying refurbished consoles.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, if you're on a budget,
And let me just say,
it's a great way to save some money.
Yeah, and there are some really good programs out there like Amazon Renewed,
Right.
where the consoles are like inspected and tested.
Yeah.
And they often come with a warranty, so you're basically getting like a near new console at a discount.
That's great.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're trying to save a buck.
And a lot of the reviewers said they couldn't even tell the difference
Really?
between the refurbished and a brand new one.
That's awesome.
So, we've talked about like the initial impressions, the price, the digital-only format, the good, the bad. Are you like starting to lean one way or the other on this whole digital-only thing?
I mean, it's a tough call. There are definitely some compelling arguments on both sides.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence myself,
Me too,
but I think we need to dig a little deeper into the user experiences.
Yeah, let's hear what the people who are actually using this console every day have to say.
Yeah, maybe that'll help us make up our minds.
Exactly.
And while you're thinking about it, make sure to check out the link below
Yes, the link.
to get all the juicy details.
All the details, all the reviews, everything you need to know.
We'll be right back.
All right, see you soon.
All right, so we're back. And now it's time to get into the good stuff.
The nitty-gritty.
Yeah, the user reviews.
Let's hear it.
These are the people who have actually spent time
Right, they've actually used the console.
with this console. So their opinions
Yeah, they're not just like,
matter.
talking heads.
Exactly.
They've actually used it.
So,
They know what's up.
we've talked about all the, the marketing stuff.
Right.
But let's see what the people are actually saying.
Yeah, what are they loving about this thing?
So hit me with some of the good stuff. What are people, really happy with?
Okay, so, I was reading this one review from this guy. Let's call him Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy hadn't touched a gaming console in years.
Oh, wow.
So he was coming back to gaming after a long time.
Yeah.
And his reaction to the PS5 was just mind blown.
Really?
Yeah, he was completely blown away.
Wow.
He especially loved those light and fast load times, like we talked about with the integrated I/O.
Uh-huh.
Jimmy is living proof that technology actually works.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And he also raved about the graphics, the smooth gameplay.
It's like he rediscovered his love of gaming.
Totally, a whole new world for him.
Yeah.
Another user, I think her name was Tori.
Okay.
She just said, the PS5 Slim is awesome.
Okay.
It's smaller, sleeker, still packs the same power for epic gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Games load super fast, and the graphics are insane.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, no messing around.
You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Short and sweet.
That's the kind of review that makes you want to click add to cart immediately.
Right, take my money.
Yes, exactly.
So speaking of instant gratification,
Yes.
we talked about the DualSense controllers.
Uh-huh. And how everyone was super hyped about it.
Yeah, all the hype.
Is it living up to the hype?
I think so, yeah. People are actually blown away by that haptic feedback.
Oh, good.
There was this one reviewer, I think his username was Renault or something.
Okay.
And he got a refurbished console, by the way. But he said that haptic feedback, took his gaming experience to a whole new level.
Wow.
He was specifically talking about how it really amplified the intensity of horror games and action games.
Oh, yeah. You can feel every jump scare.
Exactly. Every explosion, you feel it all.
That's awesome.
It's like you're not just playing the game anymore. You're actually in it.
Right.
You're living it.
That's so cool.
And the fact that he got a refurbished console and he couldn't even tell the difference.
That's awesome, especially for our budget gamers out there.
Right. Saving money is always a good thing.
Yeah, especially with how expensive things are these days.
Exactly. It's good to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Refurbished is a good option.
It seems like it, yeah.
And actually, a lot of the reviewers were saying,
Yeah.
like, if you're thinking about getting this, wait for a sale.
Yeah.
Be patient, you know? Sony loves to give discounts.
Oh, yeah. They're always running some kind of promotion.
Especially around Black Friday, holidays, stuff like that. Exactly. So you can definitely snag a deal if you're willing to wait a little bit.
All right. Well, let's talk about the other side of the coin.
Okay.
We've talked about all the good stuff.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
What are some of the downsides?
All right. So, no surprise here. The lack of a disk drive is a big one for some people.
Yeah, I bet.
There were a lot of reviewers who were lamenting the loss of the pre-owned game market,
Right.
They like to go bargain hunting, find those hidden gems.
Yeah, there's something about, having a physical collection.
Right. Of games.
It's like a sense of pride, like, look at all these games I own.
Right, it's like your trophies.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, then you have people like... there was this one reviewer, Thundersticks was his name.
Thundersticks, I love that name.
I know, right? And he's like fully embracing the digital future.
Okay.
And he was really excited about all the classic games that are available to download.
Yeah, that's a good point, So it's like you have access to this whole library of games.
Right, like a digital arcade right at your fingertips.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
But we can't forget about the internet dependency issue.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Which we talked about earlier.
Definitely a concern for some people.
People are a little nervous about, relying solely on their internet connection for gaming.
Right. What happens if the internet goes down?
Yeah, exactly.
They're stuck.
One of the users was joking about stocking up on snacks.
Uh-huh. That's a good idea.
To power through those massive game downloads.
I mean, if you're going to be waiting, might as well have some snacks.
Right. Make it a party.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, the digital-only format definitely requires a reliable internet connection.
No doubt about it.
So after hearing all this, are you team digital or team disc?
It's a tough one.
I know, right?
There are pros and cons to both.
Yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence myself.
Me too, but I think we need to address the elephant in the room a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
The potential downsides of going all digital.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive into some of those less glamorous aspects.
Okay.
And while you're thinking about it, make sure to check out that link below.
Yes, the link.
For even more user insights and, you might even find some tempting deals.
Always a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back. And, we've talked about all the good stuff, the sleek design, the speed, the immersion.
The bells and whistles.
Yeah. But are there, any red flags?
Well, it's always good to be a skeptical consumer, right?
Right.
So I did find a few brave souls who ventured into the dark side of the digital-only experience.
Okay, so what did they find? What are we talking about here?
Okay, so a couple of reviewers mentioned that the digital storefront itself, like the PlayStation Store, can be a little overwhelming. Yeah, too many options, too many deals.
Yeah.
It's like that paradox of choice thing.
Right.
Where you have so many choices that you end up not being able to choose anything.
Yeah, it's like when you're scrolling through Netflix for an hour.
Exactly.
And you end up just watching The Office again.
Right, you're just like, I'll just watch something I've already seen a million times.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's the same thing with the PlayStation Store. You can get lost in there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then this brings up another point that a few users mentioned, which is the temptation of impulse buying.
Oh, yeah.
With those flash sales and instant downloads, it's really easy to just get caught up in the moment and buy a bunch of games that you don't even end up playing.
Right. It's like, when you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh, chips are on sale.
Exactly.
And you end up buying 5 bags of chips.
Right. And then you're like, why do I have so many chips?
And you eat them all in one sitting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, self-control is key.
Definitely.
Especially when it comes to our gaming budgets.
Yes, especially with digital games. It's so easy to just click and buy.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
All right, so this next one might seem obvious, but it's worth mentioning.
Oh.
A few users were bummed about not being able to share games with friends or family.
Yeah. That's a big one.
I remember back in the day when you could just like borrow a game from your friend.
Oh, yeah.
Or let your buddy try out a game before they buy it.
Those were the days.
Yeah, those days might be gone.
Yeah, with the digital-only format, you can't really do that anymore.
Right. It's like you're not really owning the game, you're just buying a license to play it.
It's weird, right?
It's a different way of thinking about ownership.
It is. It is.
But it's kind of the trend we're seeing across all forms of entertainment these days.
Yeah, music, movies, everything's going digital.
It's the future, I guess.
Okay, so one user raised kind of like mind-blowing question.
Okay, hit me with it.
What happens if the PlayStation Store shuts down?
Oh, wow.
What happens to all our games?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right? Like, what if we lose access to all of them?
It's like a digital book burning.
Right. It's kind of scary to think about.
It is a little unsettling.
Like, we're putting a lot of trust in these companies.
We are. We're trusting that they'll keep those servers running.
Yeah, that they won't just disappear one day.
And that our games will always be there.
Maybe we should have a backup plan.
Yeah, like dust off those old board games.
Break out the cards.
Analog game night.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
It could be fun.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, there are some potential downsides to the digital-only format.
There are, definitely.
But, you know, at the end of the day, it sounds like most users are happy with their purchase.
Yeah, the vast majority of the reviews are positive.
It's really up to you, you know?
It is. It's a personal choice.
We've given you all the information. We've explored the pros and cons.
We've heard from the people who are actually using the console.
Now it's time to make a decision.
If you're still on the fence, definitely check out that link below.
Yeah, the link.
Read those Amazon reviews, get all the details.
And hey, while you're there, maybe browse some deals.
You never know, you might find a discount that makes the decision a no-brainer.
All right, well, that's it for us.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy gaming, everyone.